I was kind of avoiding this one, but let's do it. Let's see how it goes. I'm not even sure. And because I'm nervous, I'll make a yellow drawing first and then I'll paint it. I'm not looking to be precise, but a little more precise than just doing the shape overall. This is okay, and the rest I can maybe manage while I'm painting. Let's see. The green has a little curve to it as it's drying on one part, so there is a lot of tension there. And the veins are like this. Yes. I'm still not being very precise with it, just taking a little idea of how it works so that I don't have to think about it later when I'm painting. I start with some yellow, as I can see some yellow under the browns and the greens. But here, just clear water and some more yellow on here. It's a mix of a lemon yellow and a warmer yellow, whatever the name is. Like just dial up the temperature a little bit, and that's all. I think that's enough. So now go in with green. Trying to be careful. Also, I've toned down my sap green with a little bit of brown and a bit of, yeah, a warm brown which has some orange to it, which is burnt sienna, and also some blue. It can be any blue, any warm blue. To this, I'm adding a bit of burnt sienna on the top here. It shouldn't run too much because the lines are not blurry. They are pretty much hard edges everywhere. I'm not putting in the contrast just yet. I'm mapping things out and later I'll put more contrast to it. First, I'll add more green. And wherever I see yellow peeking through, I can just soften everything with clear water. I think I need a wet wash for this one. Gently putting water over everything, and I think I put too much water. So let's wait, or maybe I'll pick up some excess water. So to pick that up, what you do is you wet your brush, wipe it on a tissue, and remove all the excess water, and now you can just go in and absorb all the excess water. Now I think it's okay. So very diluted green. I think I need to dilute it even more, but we'll see. I'm just a little nervous. It's okay. I like this part. We add some more of a bit more concentration here, and we have to lift for a vein along this line here. So maybe I lift it right now. Okay. So even if you are lifting water, you are kind of removing water from that area, and the paint will not spread as much into that area. So you still have a clear edge if you do that, but also, like, if it spreads, you can still lift it again and do that thing. But here I don't think I need it too much, but maybe after a few seconds I will maybe straighten this line a little bit. Also keep in mind it will dry a little bit lighter than what it is. So we need to make it look a little darker than what we need it to be so that it dries a little lighter and then we get what we want. So I'm adding those darker values here. Even more in this area, and maybe I'll lift this line again and make these clear transitions. Ah, nice. So I don't need to lift it, but I'm lifting just to map it out. It has to be brown, but on the edges, if it's a little lighter, I think it'll look much better. And I'll clean this line as well, just until here. Okay, that's it. Ah, it's way too sharp. Okay, I don't want to disturb it, but I kind of have to. It's like an experiment you have to do and see, and it's not a tutorial yet. So for a tutorial, I have to kind of figure it out first and then make it in a way where I can explain it to other people what I'm doing, which I'm not able to do right now as I'm doing it for the first time. I'm still figuring it out. Too much. Anyways, just move the pigment around a little bit and you'll be good. But you have to remember that you cannot add excess water, so your brush should be almost dry while you are moving the pigment around, or you'll get those lines or maybe the backgrounds, which can be a good thing if you want them, but if you don't want them, then don't do it. Okay. I'll try and make another vein here very lightly. Okay. Now it's almost dry, like it's not shiny, but it's wet. So now I'm going in with my browns on this side. It's kind of difficult because I cannot touch it or I'll mess it up. So I'll support my hand with a finger like this and then I'll go. It also helps with a very natural shake if you like that kind of thing. I like it because sometimes when you have that shake, you get more natural looking, I don't know, randomness. So first with the lighter color, the lightest one that you have in your reference or in your head if you're making it from the imagination, so that you can darken it and it has some variation in different areas. This is one. You don't need to be precise, just add a little bit of pressure and you'll get that not so uniform kind of look. No, no, this looks weird, so I need to get rid of this. I mean, this one here. Okay, gone. Now there is an insect bite or something, or a dried area here. So maybe I'll lift the green out. So this side has less water, so I can maybe go in with the vein as well. It's a very thin brown line. But let's see, whatever we can get is good enough. Okay, kind of got it. Managed to make it as thin as I wanted it to be. So good. Now the next one, it's even more like in an orange. So maybe I can add a little bit of an orange to it so that it remains lighter, as well as there is some color vibration, and also, I don't know, just to add some color to it. Okay. Oh. Okay. Somehow this, I pushed it a little higher. It needed to be more here, but I don't know. Let's just roll with whatever is happening. As long as it looks like a leaf, I'm good. I'm happy. Okay, so more contrast here. For this, I'm using a burnt umber. And if I want to go even darker, then I can add even like a little more blue to it. Also, you can get a burnt umber by mixing some blue to your burnt sienna if you don't have this color. Also try it like if you can just do whatever mark there is with just one stroke, or like use your brush like a stamp. In a way, that gives you a more of a natural look. So if you can do that, please do that. This brown area shouldn't be uniform. It shouldn't be all like a flat whatever color. It should always have the darks and lights and everything. So I do this, and if I need to soften this line, which is the case here, or push it around a little bit, take clear water, push it around, make it darker, lighter, whatever, and then just keep working. I'm trying to keep it uneven on purpose just to make it look more natural. Already I've messed up the folds, so at least like whatever I can do, I'm trying to do that. And also, just so you know, it's the normal process, and you'll never be able to copy everything, every detail, and like there is no limit to it. It's better to take a photograph if you want to do that. Just the feeling of it is what I'm after. Another vein, one more that goes here, and another one that somehow enters this. There are a lot more patches that we'll handle later. First, I'm establishing all the major corners and those areas, and especially here because it's uncomfortable for me as a right-handed person to work on this side. I can always work on top and this side, but I cannot work side by side on this side and this side as well. So I'll keep this off for later, and right now I'll deal with all of this. There is a little burn that I can see here. I'll bring it back, make a very thin line here. Oh, no, I couldn't. It's okay. And that's why don't paint from my mistakes. Paint from the photograph, or if you can find a leaf in nature somewhere, do that. That's the best, because not all the information is conveyed by photographs. You'll be able to see more of the color, of the form, everything. And now I'm blurring it slightly. All right, a little bit of green in here. Okay, so I think the brown is not even everywhere, even in the veins. So there are places where, like even for this one, I can just blur it a little bit. Don't overwork it, otherwise your green will also move, but like gently. If you want to get the exact thing, this is how you do it. You don't have to do it. If it looks good to you, the way you're doing it, please leave it like that. But if you are more comfortable with everything else and you want to add this little detail as well, then you can do it like this, like I'm doing here. Also, because I'm doing it for the first time, I've still not figured out how much detail I want in it. Like if I'm doing it for myself, this is for practice, but if I'm doing it for myself, how much detail would I like to keep? So it can be more, it can be less, it really depends. So I recommend that if you are planning to explore a certain subject, do it in do it multiple times, do it in different ways, so you know what you like, what you don't like, and things like that. Wherever you want to soften a line, clear water, just clear water always. I think this should also be just green, lighter green area. Later I can emphasize it however I want, but this is kind of a fold. Edge I can soften, and this can be a comparatively hard edge, not completely hard. We'll see. Okay. Now we can gently touch it with clear water. No need to spread it, just touch it a little bit. And this part you can just go in and push it in slightly so that it has more of a softer edge, but not too much. It's a almost dry line, barely wet, so that I can maybe emphasize it and make it darker like we do with pencil. It's kind of like that. If you have no water in your brush, oh, I had a little bit of white gouache in that corner and I rubbed on it. So it got thicker but also lighter. Doesn't matter now. Okay. So take a very thick pigment, but just a little bit of it on the tip of your brush. Also, I'm using a number 10 because I don't like changing my brush too much. Try doing it with the biggest brush that you have, but if you can't, use whatever is more comfortable with for you, and don't shy away from anything. Whatever works for you is good enough. So this is the line. Here I can put in a little bit of brown to suggest a burn. And there are a lot of random lines. You don't need to copy them exactly, but just slightly, like whatever movement you're feeling there. Like if you see chaos, just make some chaos and don't think about what the chaos looks like exactly, and it will work just fine. Then add some darks and let some areas be lighter. And if it's too whatever, any kind of way, we can always put some water in and tone it down a little bit. So don't worry about anything. I think I missed a line here. There are two folds. I just made one, but there is no space because I made this vein structure here. So it's okay. We'll leave it. Some more. Here. Also, don't be afraid to use the side of the brush. Always. I see people getting stuck with just the tip of the brush. Don't do it. Please explore all the possibilities of your brush, and sometime try even like to paint with something other than your brush, like a toothbrush or something. And now some contour lines that suggest these are veins, but also these suggest that there is a certain roundness to it. Sure, there will be multiple. We'll soften them in a minute. I think it should have gone here, like so. Okay, we can keep this and we can just uh, blend this one in. So you see, it's highly correctable also. You don't have to get stuck with everything. See, just a little bit of water and some rubbing. It gets lighter. Even if it doesn't go completely, it's still okay. We can make the other one darker and you will not see it as evidently. And then maybe we'll put more green on top of it and it will be covered. Even if it's not covered entirely, it's not a problem. Don't worry. Change things around like you want. Of course, don't overwork it also. But anyways, if you want to make a certain correction, do it. Now maybe I'll make the middle brown thing that I see here around the way, just to add a bit of contrast here. I'm not working in a particular order, so when you do it, try not to follow it as a tutorial. Try to just look at the video first and then paint from the reference picture. Use the video just as a resource, not exact reference. Now I'm thinking about what I said. Did I say it correctly or not? I don't know. But if you got the sense of it, I'm okay with that. Or if you didn't, I don't know. When I'll rewatch the video, then I'll get to know what I said. But please, when you watch the video, just watch the video and learn how to do things. And then when you do it, then you can, follow the techniques that you saw. But don't follow it as a step by step because it's not a step by step. I don't usually do those details, but I'm doing it just to use them as a contour reference so that we know that it's a rounder thing, not to overdo it also. So I'll blend them as well so that it's there but it's not too visible. So there is a slight bump here. Even if it's not a bump, it's a lighter color. So remove some color. Normally it should be yellow. Like if I do it in a lot of detail, I'll protect this area to make the yellow visible, or maybe I can add a little bit to it here. Okay, looks okay. Here as well, lift a bit of paint, whatever you can, and then add a little bit of yellow to it. Don't worry if it looks too bright, it will dry lighter, as I already told you. More lifting. Also, see, I'm working on random details. I am not yet sure of if I'll do a final piece, what I would like to keep, and what I'll just avoid. So, there is no rule to how much detail there should be, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. It all depends on you, and you can do what you want. But I've not decided what I want yet. So I'm trying different things and figuring out the techniques I might use or the details that I might keep. Also, you can see here, just because I touched it with clear water, it's much softer now. And whatever felt harder or a little scratchy in the beginning, it doesn't anymore. Here as well, soften it or just touch it with a bit of water. Then if you want to add more to it, remove it, whatever, just keep going. Maybe, I don't know. Again, some burnt sienna and some raw sienna for the lighter areas, burnt sienna. For the darker areas, I mean the browns, raw, not raw sienna. Oh my god, I keep making this mistake all the time. Burnt umber, burnt sienna and burnt umber. And to go from burnt sienna to burnt umber, you need to add a bit of blue to it. I'm protecting this for the fold, and here I can go in with a lot of dark. The darker one on the edge here, and also it comes down here. I want to clear an area on top, so I lift like so. Again, here I need it to be dark just to add some variation, and I'll add a little more variation in the third go as well. So this is not just the final thing I'm doing here. I'm not being too careful with it because I can always lift, and as it's a darker color, it's even more like, not to get white exactly, but because I'm using a lot of pigment, I can easily lift that off wherever it's sitting on my paper. So I need to put some green in and some yellows as well. Just put some greens first. Softening the edges a bit, and then green here. Just working it out. There is no uh, clarity right now. Just painting whatever I see, and then adding or removing things according to what I feel like. This I can also do it with the back of my brush, but I'm not doing it because my paper is way too thin for this, the back of the brush thing. Maybe I should try and use watercolor paper as well for the next one. We'll see. Just softening it. Maybe I lose some of my bright colors, but that's okay because I'm anyway going to darken the surrounding area, so it doesn't really matter. Darks and here, soften the edge. So I don't work in any particular order. I tackle the area that comes to my mind. Like if I see and I'm like, I'm not able to ignore this area right now, so I go back to this. Now I think I can wet this area as well, this side. So that I have some, I wanted to say some. I get lost a lot when I'm painting and I just say stuff. So I'm just adding more green here, and I'm not working from top to bottom just because I need to see how it looks with the contrast with the green and everything, how dark the browns should be. And I kind of need to see it, not that I want to see it, because like here we had the green first, and in comparison to that, the browns worked out. But for this area here, I need some green. Maybe I can start with the veins so I can protect the yellow areas. Let's see. Some burnt umber, some burnt sienna again. This time it's correct. I didn't make a mistake here. Okay, so just to check how much water there is. I think it's okay, it will not spread as much. So I'll start here with the first vein. And the second one. Try and vary the pressure a little bit here. If it's a uniform line, it doesn't look as natural. So if you can add some variation, some line width and all of that, like a little bit of pressure. So your line is thin in a certain place and then thick again and thin again. That really adds to the feel of it. These will all be dark, so it'll not be as visible. I'm just mapping things around. More paint. So when you're painting thin lines, it helps if you use your brush like this, hold it at like almost 90 degrees. You can also practice before you do it in your painting. Of course, it's a practice painting at first, but still, if you want to, be more precise with the leaf, you can practice it separately just to do lines like thin lines. And don't worry if it looks too dark right now. It will look lighter because we'll be adding more green and there will be less of a contrast from light to dark. And also we can always lighten it with lifting. So no pressure here. I'll add this dark edge. We'll maybe revisit it, but for now I just want to add it here. I see that. Okay, it continues, that's one thing, but also it's lighter, so I'll lift, not entirely but a little bit, and leave the rest here. I can add some dark colors because this portion here is turning outwards and there will be a shadow area. Okay, Okay, so now a bit of green and then we can continue this brown part. Oh, not with this. I think I'll work wet on wet in this part, adding a little bit of water again. Just going over the lines as well to soften them a little bit. I don't need to rub on it or anything, just because the water is present, they will soften themselves. Okay. So this way I'm able to keep the edges. They don't need to be preserved everywhere, but in certain places, if it's visible, the color that's underneath, which is yellow, it can add to the effect. Even if you get hard edge like this, do not panic, take your time, and then clean brush, wipe off all the excess water and check you don't have any color in it like I had. Wipe it off, soften it with clear water, and it's the same as wet on wet in terms of looks, so you don't have to worry about it. Again, this will dry lighter, so I'll add a little more pigment to wherever I think is necessary, for example here, and maybe a little bit of this corner here. That's it. Now I can soften this. And I can let it dry. And now, as it's wet, we can start with our browns again. Let's re-wet this area very gently. There is a large area that I need to paint, so I'll be taking a lot more pigment than I usually do. Now the burnt umber. Time to be brave again. Uh, let's see. This is the scariest part because it's very dark and I almost can't go back on this. I think I should put a little bit of water here so that it's smoother and I don't have to blend everything. I'm protecting this area because this is a hard edge on this spot here, just around it, a little bit. Also, I can see some spots forming here, so soften those as well. And there is some spillage on this side. There are a few holes in it, but I'm not painting them as I'm painting on a white surface. If there was something else underneath it, then I can maybe, do that. But here it's not necessary, and also extra work to protect everything, which I'm not willing to do right now. So whatever I need to protect, I protect that and I keep going. Just mapping things out. I'm not worried about the contrast just yet. Now I can take my burnt umber, and wherever I see a darker area, I'll just stamp it. For example, here. Either you can just put dots of it and then maybe let them run into each other or whatever, or just like stamp it a little bit like this and make some shapes with it. We lost this vein, so I'm bringing it back again. This one as well. So no two spots and no two marks should be equal in size or look repetitive. Also, because I used burnt sienna, it's turning a little orange. That is adding the contrasting color for the green, and it looks pretty to me. And I don't want the exact same as my image. I can go with the burnt umber, but I think I like it this way, so I'm not going to make it more and more dark. I'll see wherever I can leave it, I'll just leave it. Also, if you want to make this spot pop a little bit more, so you can add dark, whatever, like some dark color around it, and it'll look much brighter. So everything light and dark, dull and bright, everything is in comparison. I think it's okay for now. I'll just add in more contrast here in this part and then I'll be done. I'm also tired of it. Also, the areas I protected, they are not there anymore, so maybe I'll lift. Okay, that's enough. Some contrast here. This line here needs to be a bit dark, and this as well. Some random mark. I really like this. So try making marks like this. This happened in one go. So I'm not just using the tip of my brush. Let's try making different kinds of marks with it. Okay, a bit more damage maybe. I'll add some brush marks here and then paint over them. So like now I'm making a mark. It should be soft, but like a little soft, not too soft. So I'm just with a damp brush, I'll touch this part here and then I'll make my mark. Okay, too much water in my brush. But it still looks okay. But that's not what I intended to do. So I lift it and then I'll add more. It's funny. Okay, that's it. So there are a lot of details that I can do right now, but I don't want to do any more details. So I'll just leave it like that. Maybe here a little bit. Nice. I can lift this just a tiny bit and then emphasize the line with a little bit of green. That's it. More green here. Then soften it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong now. Probably overworking it, but whatever. I'll leave it alone in a minute. I think it's okay for now. Okay, this is left. I forgot. Oh, and now I soften this line from inside. Also lift a little bit here, and that's all.